Maybe our next guest will have a thought or two on this game about to kick off. It is Thor Nystrom, betting pros and fantasy pros at Thor KU on social media. We've got a spread of 5. If you do like the fave, there's a 4.5 out there. Tulane and Memphis, this game about to kick off. So let's get it in under the gun here. Thor, your quick analysis on tonight's Tulane-Memphis game.
I just think that line's too high right now for Tulane. I think this game should be about a pick 'em. I'm sorry, Shaun, but I would be on Memphis in that game. Game being in Memphis, like I said, think that should be a pick 'em. I'll be on Memphis in that one.
You know, Thor, you don't have to apologize for being wrong. I mean, people have been doubting my green wave for years. I'm used to it.
I was on Tulane so many times last year, Shaun. You know that.
Best covered team in college football last year, 11-2.
We're going to make a national statement
ATS.
tonight. We're going to thump Memphis.
The national statement beating Memphis?
I was just going to say their pass defense pretty good. Mr. Michael Pratt been back only now for a couple of weeks. He's been in a knee brace in there. I don't know. I think Memphis is going to come out pretty salty tonight.
All right, we will see. That game about to get underway. They're at the Liberty Bowl. Shaun King and the Tulane Green Wave won 41-27 against BYU back in 1998. New Year's Eve, 1998. Maybe Michael Pratt, the best quarterback in Tulane history, can channel a little bit of Shaun King. You know, he's in first place with career touchdown passes.
I'm only going to take so much slander from you, okay?
I'm telling you facts. All right.
Your metrics should be whose team went undefeated and who finished where in the Heisman voting. Okay?
What if your team beat the Heisman winner?
In a year that they lost?
All right. Enough of that. Let's get to Saturday's card. A game we haven't touched on.
And I'm interested in what he thinks about this game.
I contemplated a bet in this one, but I'm glad I didn't because I want to hear your analysis of it. Texas A&M, Tennessee. This one will be at Old Rocky Top. 3:30 Eastern kickoff. Tennessee's laying 3. Total of 55, we'll say. Thor, what's your angle on Aggies and Vols?
This is another one that I think should be a pick 'em. So I'm happy to get 3 points with Texas A&M going to Tennessee in this game. One key element of this game to keep an eye on is Texas A&M is the number 1 team in the nation in sacks per dropback. Their defense is Joe Milton has not been great this year. Tennessee's offense, which you think of the passing offense as being this super explosive thing, at least from the past, the Hendon Hooker offenses and going back with Josh Heupel, their passing explosion this year, they're in the 60s, like 68th or something like that nationally. Now in this game, Joe Milton, he's going to have to put up with being harassed the entire game. He's going to be under duress the entire thing. He's going to have to put up with that and hit open windows downfield. It's the only path that Tennessee has to win this game. If he can't do that, this thing could go south very, very quickly. He might turn it over. They're going to be behind the sticks, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that this is going to go well. I think A&M is going to win this game, and I think they might win by double digits. I'm not only on A&M, I'm on A&M with the alternative lines. Ooh. I think they match up really, really well with Tennessee in this game.
You know, here's what's interesting. I've stayed away from Tennessee because I think Joe Milton can be so bad.
You bet on him against Florida.
I took Florida.
Nope.
Yeah, when they were in Gainesville, I was on Florida. Tennessee, Joe Milton going to be so bad, Tennessee can lose to anybody. But he has about 2, number 1 pick in the draft games every year, and then they can beat anybody. So I just leave them alone. So I'm with you. If I was going to bet it, I'd take A&M or pass.
For sure. Yeah, and it's matchup dependent, isn't it, Shaun? This is not the matchup for them, right? Because, it's all matchup dependent. When he has that clean pocket, that's when you see Milton's game play up. Nobody gets a clean pocket against A&M's pass rush. Look at last week. At least Milroe, he was able to have the good passing game, mostly because Burton was able to have the game of his life, whatever. But Jalen Milroe, who usually has the awesome rushing games, Milroe finished with negative 35 rushing yards, I believe is what it is from the top of my head or whatever, because he got sacked so many times by A&M's pass rush. Milton is going to be getting sacked over and over and over again. And I think the difference between Milroe's game and what Milton's game is going to be tomorrow is the mistakes. And that's what you see with Milton in the bad games, like you're talking about, Shaun, is that they start to compound. Milroe was able to find some of those open windows downfield. When you start to see bad Bazooka Joe, is when you see the accuracy issues and then the sort of foibles with his decision making. And that's when you start to see the stuff start to compound, and then it starts to compound upon itself. I think that's what you're going to see tomorrow against Texas A&M.
Our guy Thor Nystrom joining us here at ThorKU on Twitter. He's a college football analyst over at Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros. Let's get to your beloved Kansas Jayhawks. Market has moved against them a little bit here. I believe they opened up around 3.5-point road favorite. Mostly threes out there. Where we sit at circa actually has dipped under the key number of 3. Jalen Daniels will be out again. So how does Kansas respond on the road against the Pokes?
My number is Oklahoma State minus 2.2. And Oklahoma State started to play better recently. I don't know. I still don't know what Mike Gundy was doing at the beginning of the season when he was doing that dopey three quarterback rotation, including putting his son in, who shouldn't even be an FCS quarterback. He was one of the 3 quarterbacks he was putting in. And it wasn't just that. He had that transfer running back, Elijah Collins, that he had a 2 running back rotation. He has a good running back, like a legitimate Big 12 starting running back, this Ollie Gordon guy, like a star caliber running back. And he was jerking him around. And it was like, dude, just settle on the one quarterback and then only play Ollie Gordon. Like, when you start doing that, you'll have a viable team. He finally started doing that a week or 2 ago. And oh, voila, now you have an offense again. It's like, bro, why weren't you doing that from week 1? So now Oklahoma State, they're viable again. And that's why you've seen the team start to turn around. Rock Chalk, obviously Jalen Daniels out again and might be, by the way, for the foreseeable future. He has the back problems. Heard it's a nerve thing. I mean, we'll see how long that ends up going on. But they have Mr. Bean playing again. Yeah, Roland Atkinson, as we say. He's fine. Mr. Bean is. His game is not too dissimilar from Jalen Daniels. It's just Mr. Bean. The difference between the two is he glitches like 3 times a game, where he makes like a decision where you're like, what the heck were you doing? Like, it's sort of like Mr. Bean in that way, where it's like what were you seeing there? So like, if he doesn't glitch, or like depending on the severity of the glitch, but in the last game, Kansas was able to just run over their opponent, and that's why they ended up just annihilating them. Oklahoma State figures to load up against the run to try to prevent Devin Neal from doing that to them. So, and make Mr. Bean try to throw on them. We'll end up seeing there. Oklahoma State, their in terms of their run defense, is that viable or not? Oklahoma State run success rate on defense 21st. They're also 38th in terms of passing success rate. Where you can get them, it's the explosion on both. Mr. Bean, not the most explosive passer, though. So we'll see on that. I probably would slightly lean towards Oklahoma State, despite me being a Lawrence alum.
Talk once again to Thor Nystrom. All right, a game we haven't hit on yet today. I have a play on this game, but not on the side, actually on the total, which scares me because I'm not a big totals guy. But we've got UCLA going up to Corvallis, and we've seen this number move a little bit on the total. Side has stayed pretty consistent there. Oregon State laying 3.5. Top 25 showdown in Corvallis. Anything you like in this one between the Beavs and the Bruins?
These will both be leans for me. Both these teams, it's hard to get your finger on, but my system has Oregon State minus 4.6 and a total of 57. But some of these Pac-12 teams, it's like it depends on where the game is being played, right? Like it's like if they move away from home, then you have to move away from them. I played the UCLA game last week. I was on them because the opponent. Who did they play last week?
Washington State.
Washington State, that's right. So, Washington State, they're better in Pullman, but then when they go away, then you play against them. Oregon State, sort of the same thing. Now we're in Corvallis. I would play on them for that reason. Now Dante Moore going away from home. This is a tough assignment for Dante Moore now. You have to go in Corvallis, play there, whatever. I think I would also go on the over. It's a little bit sort of contradictory there, but I think I would be on the over there. I think the running games can get going for both sides there. My system certainly likes that as well. So I think my leans there would be Oregon State in the over.
All right, before we let you run, let's do Oregon Washington. Anything jump out of you here? Final 30 seconds. Oregon and Washington.
This one I have tickets on. I like Oregon, and it's pretty simple on this one. I feel that line should be a pick 'em just objectively. If you're going to give me 3 points on the side where I know that I have the better defense and I also have the offense that has an ability to be more multiple, I'm going to take that every day. So give me Oregon in the 3 points.
All right, quack, quack. And
Quack,
Giga
quack.
Maggie for Mr. Thor there. Thor, always appreciate it, brother.
Enjoy your Saturday, Thor.
Appreciate it, boys. Always
There he
good
is.
seeing you.
Thor Nystrom, fantasy pros and betting pros. Follow him on Twitter at ThorKU.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.